What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's live stream. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are having a great day. It's almost the weekend. Hopefully you're having a good work week, school week, but then it's almost time for fun. Let's see who we got here. We're going to get into some Scream theories as always. So if you have any theories you want to talk about, start dropping them in the chat. We can talk about some other horror as well, or anything we want, really. We can talk about Christmas movies. I'm in full-blown Christmas mode. I just filmed a video today about Christmas movies for just my channel members. So if you're a channel member, that video should be up by tomorrow. Let's see. We have Wrestling God here. Hey, Wrestling God. Welcome to the stream. We have Chris here. Hey, Chris. Yeah, I think we were talking about this theory yesterday about the Bailey mom. I think in the original script for Scream 6, there was a little part about Mrs. Bailey. And apparently Ethan and Wayne killed her because she wasn't on board with their plan. Hey, RJ. Glad you had a good checkup. Always good to hear. Let's see. Hey, Alex. No problem. Your Christmas display was great. I loved the train set and the ghost face with the Santa hat like I got. Hey, Eric. I would just die if this happened. If I ever got a chance to like be in a Scream movie. Hey, Ghostface. No, the snow is not depressing. The snow is so fun. It hasn't snowed by me yet. I'm hoping we get some snow this year. Past few years, it really hasn't snowed that much. Hey, Derek. I feel it's Stu, but what is his motive at this point? I think just good old-fashioned revenge, like Mrs. Loomis says in Scream 2. I feel like the best motive is just pure revenge. And I mean, Sydney foiled his plan back in 96. So I think just revenge. I don't know. I think what we need is what we need from the Kirby spinoff movie. The fact that Kirby doesn't have a real chase scene in Final Girl moment is underwhelming. Oh, I see. Dedicated video. You want me to make a video about Kirby? Yeah, I feel like I did really like Kirby in Scream 6. A lot of people think her coming back was kind of pointless, and I disagree. I guess the movie still could have worked without her, but I love that she came back. I think also a lot of people think that she didn't have that much to do in the movie. I disagree. I think she played a pretty big role. But yeah, it would be great if she could have a chase scene. And I mean, hopefully this spin-off movie is happening. I don't know. I feel like it hasn't been confirmed, you know? No one has officially announced it. Hayden Panettiere hasn't said anything. I feel like it's kind of just more of a rumor at this point, but a rumor that a lot of people seem to believe could be true because there was something on Production Weekly about it, which is a reliable source. And I think it came also from Daniel Rickman, I think is his name on Twitter. He kind of has like an inside scoop on things and tends to be right about a lot of things. So hopefully this spinoff is happening. I don't know. Um, I imagine it's not going to come out before Scream 7. So maybe late 2026, maybe not till 2027, which is kind of a bummer. But if the spinoff is really happening, I wonder if she's going to be in Scream 7. I don't know. She could be. I hope she is because I want her to have a scene with Sydney. They obviously haven't had a scene together since Scream 4. So it would be cool if Kirby could be in Scream 7. Because I feel doubtful that Nev Campbell would be in the Kirby spinoff, but I don't know. In Scream 3, if Stu came back, I would love to see him betray Roman. That would be interesting for sure. It's a shame that we didn't get Stu's return in Scream 3, which was the original plan. I think about that all the time, like what we could have gotten from Scream 3, which is my least favorite sequel. I still love Scream 3, but I always think about what would happen if Stu came back like he was supposed to. But if Stu came back in Scream 3, then we wouldn't have this exciting time now speculating and theorizing his return for Scream 7. So, I also love the snow. Hello. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining the stream. If Stu is leading a Ghostface cult, what do you think that the mission of the cult is? In other words, why did Stu decide to start his cult? I don't know. Why do any of the Ghostfaces decide to kill people? I mean, he's clearly a psychopath. Like I was saying earlier, I think he clearly wants some revenge on Sydney for what she did to him. And maybe he just thinks with a cult, he could be successful this time in taking her down. Because clearly in the first one, it was just him and Billy, and Sydney won. So maybe if he thinks if he has like dozens of cult members, they can't lose this time. I don't know. Imagine if Billy Loomis killed Sydney before Gail saved the day. I feel like if that happened, we wouldn't have any sequels. I feel like it would have just been a one and done movie. So I am glad that did not happen because I love this franchise. I think Randy should have been in Scream 3 and he sacrificed himself to save Sydney from Roman. I'm with you. I agree with that. You know, Randy Meeks is my favorite character after Stu. Randy's my favorite non-Ghostface character. And I wish he could have made it to the final movie of like the original trilogy. It's a bummer that they killed him off so early in Scream 2. He didn't even make it to the final act of Scream 2. That sucks. I miss Randy dearly. How do you feel about Celeste O'Connor being a red herring, sort of like Hallie was in Scream 2? I mean, I would like that. I think we need as many red herrings as we can get. I feel like sometimes that's an issue with a lot of slasher movies. Like sometimes there's not that many red herrings. I feel like it's necessary for a slasher movie for there to be a few. because then it makes it really difficult to figure out who the actual killer is. Um, so I would like this to happen. Maybe Stu wants to finish what he started. I'm convinced he killed Dewey and attacked Gale. I am with you on that. I've done several videos on this. I do think he killed Dewey and that he attacked Gale. I have pretty detailed theories on the channel about this. So if anyone here has not seen those, definitely check them out. But yeah, I also agree that he just wants to finish what he started, you know? Sydney foiled his plan, and now he wants revenge. Hey, Marvel, I'm good. Hope you are too. Main complaint from people is that Kirby didn't do much in the final act. They just scream forward her again. That's a good point. Yeah, I feel like she could have done more in the final act. I guess she was kind of there for some of it, like up until the reveal, and then when everything was going down, like, and she got stabbed and she was on the floor, and then, you know, Sam took the knife out of her because she was like, I kind of need this, and Kirby was like, F him up or F them up. I think that was a good little moment, but you're right. Other than that, she didn't really do that much. So yeah, we can always use more Kirby. Kirby is honestly one of my favorite characters in the whole franchise. She's probably in my top 5 characters, possibly. I'm trying to think. Stu's my favorite. Randy's second. Yeah, I mean, Kirby might be number 3 for me. Scream 4 is just my favorite sequel in the franchise. After the original, 4 is my favorite. I think the reason why the writers didn't kill Mindy is because they didn't want to make the same mistake with Randy. I agree. I think so too. I kind of was expecting her to die to kind of mirror Randy, because we know that these new movies are mirroring the originals in a lot of ways with like certain plot points and stuff. But yeah, I agree. I think they didn't want to like repeat the whole thing with Randy. But maybe what they don't realize is that people don't like Mindy as much as they loved Randy. So, you know, I think they could have afforded to lose Mindy. Who died first in Scream 6? Laura Crane was the first kill in that movie. Do you think the new actress Celeste is a Mindy and Chad family member? I don't know. Probably not. I feel like they want to move on from the core 4, but I guess it's possible. She does kind of resemble them a little bit. Maybe she's a cousin, but I feel like I doubt that. I feel like they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do a flashback to Mrs. Bailey's death. I feel like at this point it's just not important to the story, especially if we're moving on from the core 4. Sydney's the main focus. I feel like they wouldn't do that. Have you visited the Scream fandom website? This website is also known as Scream Wiki. Among other things, this website contains a timeline of the events of all 6 Scream movies. I have, yeah. I have definitely checked it out. It's not something I go on pretty frequently, so I haven't checked it out in a while. Did you like the amount of screen time Sydney had in Scream 4? I feel like Scream 7 could sort of go that route to give new characters enough screen time. I feel like she had a pretty good amount of screen time in Scream 4. Um, it did move on to new characters, like the younger crowd with Jill and Kirby and everyone, but I think she had a pretty good amount of screen time in Scream 4. Um, I feel like Scream 7 could do the same thing, but I don't know. Part of me thinks it will be more Sydney focused. I feel like Nev Campbell kind of teased that in an interview. Like she did kind of say that like Sydney will be the main character. So I don't know. I kind of hope she has more screen time in Scream 7. Um, and kind of have the new characters more in the background to maybe set up for the next movie, which Sydney might not even be in, Scream 8. Um, I don't know. I feel like I hope it focuses more on Sydney. I heard they are bringing back Melissa for Scream 7. No. If you heard that, it's definitely just a rumor. Unfortunately. Um, yeah, I don't think they're working anything out anytime soon. Melissa Barrera just did an interview kind of talking about everything that happened. I did a video on that if you want to check it out. Um, yeah, this is not true. Hey, Ghostface Caller. Yeah, I do. I kind of hope Stu gets away with it at the end of 7 to carry over into Scream 8. Um, but I don't know. I feel like that would be good just because not only is bringing back a past killer something new that they've never done, but also having one of the killers like get away with it at the end. That's something that's never happened. So if Scream 7 wants to do a bunch of new stuff that's never been done before, I think that would be a good way to do it. And then eventually kill him in the next movie. In reality, if you would get a tube TV in the face, the screen wouldn't even break. um, I mean, there have been cases in real life of these TVs falling on people, and lots of people have survived it. So you guys know how I feel about Stu surviving. I have a video on the channel, 6 reasons Stu could have survived his injuries. Definitely check that out if you have not seen it. Imagine Mrs. Bailey is still alive and was saved by Stu. I don't know if he would do that. I just feel like it wouldn't really serve a purpose, but I don't know. I guess it's possible. Mrs. Bailey was the first one to die. I mean, it didn't really happen. Like it wasn't in the movie, so I don't this technically isn't even a character, so I don't consider her like the first death. Um yeah. Thanks, Sabina. I appreciate that. Hey, Paula. Yeah, it would be cool if Stu could, carry over into Scream 8 also. If the cult of Stu is not part of part 7, who do you think could be someone from Sydney's past to be a potential Ghostface? I don't know. I feel like it has to be Stu. Like, if it's anyone else, I just won't care that much at this point. Like, another new random person, it's like, all right, we've done this 6 times. Like, let's have it be someone that we know. But if it is someone else, I do think it needs to be connected to her somehow. Someone from her past. I don't know. I mean, I would take Jill. Um, I've heard a few theories, like what if it's someone who like Mark Kincaid arrested and put away for years in jail. I mean, that could be good, I guess, but I just think it has to be Stu. Have you watched Terrifier 3? If you have, will Terrifier 4 be in hell or space, or will there even be a next movie? I have seen Terrifier 3. There will be a next movie that was confirmed by Damien Leone. If anyone here has not seen Terrifier 3, we might mention some spoilers coming up, so tune out for a second. But I think Terrifier 4 could possibly take place in hell or like wherever that floor opened up to where Gabby dropped down. Some kind of underworld of some sort. I don't know. I feel like it does have to go there because not only is Gabby down there, but so is the sword. The sword that Sienna uses went down there with Gabby. So I don't know. I do have one Terrifier 4 theory on my channel if you want to check it out. I feel like they should make Sydney's daughter not so much a perfect goody two shoes final girl. She could be sort of a troublemaker or rebel that has an arc. That could be good. Yeah, I think I kind of say something like that in a recent video of mine where what if these ghost faces like Stu and his cult are trying to recruit her daughter and turn her against Sydney and like convince her that Sydney like ruined their lives. Like maybe she was teased growing up because her mom is like the angel of death. Yeah, I wouldn't want her daughter to be an actual ghost face. I think that's too much, but to see her kind of struggle with it and have them try to recruit the daughter, that would be interesting. I just don't think Stu is alive. Someone would have said something by now, despite the Scream 3 plot. Is that what you meant? Instead of season 3? I get it. I get where you're coming from, but you know, it is a movie, and you know, they have sort of teased it in 5 and 6 with in 5 it was the little YouTube video that questioned if the real life Stu Macher survived. Mindy has that line in Scream 6, like, yeah, if you believe he's dead. So they have sort of mentioned something and teased it a little bit. And then with the other sequels, like I have theories on the channel that the police tried to cover up his involvement. They were paid off by his parents to kind of rush everything under the rug. So he kind of gets forgotten from the story a little bit. Of course, some people know who he is, like Sydney and Gail, because they were there. But if you look at like Scream 5, he keeps getting forgotten from the story. Like Liv does not know who he is. She asks, who's Stu Macher? And Tara forgets him when Ghostface on the phone asks her who's the killer in the first Stab movie. She says Billy Loomis. She doesn't mention Stu. And Ghostface gets mad and is like, wrong, Billy and Stu. So I feel like he's kind of getting erased from the story intentionally, like, because his parents didn't want people to know. Um, I don't know. I go into far more detail in a lot of my videos. If you want to check them out, I know you're not a Stu believer, but maybe my videos can convince you. So feel free to check them out. I have a whole Stu Macher playlist. There's like 50 videos in there, and a Scream Theories playlist too. Let's see. Exactly. This is something that I talk about in a lot of my Stu videos. Like, so many other characters survive so much worse. So, is it really that hard to believe that Stu could have survived? Hey, Chris. Where is Sydney and Gail in your Scream characters top 5? Um, hmm. I mean, they're definitely my top 10 for sure. Um, Sydney might be top 5. I think I did a ranking video, and I don't remember how I ranked them. So maybe look for that video. I have a ranking playlist. Um, I don't think Gail is in my top 5. I love her, but I think Tatum's in my top 5 also. Billy's probably in my top 5. Ooh, so Sydney actually might be like number 6, because I love Stu, Randy, Kirby, Jill, Billy. Yeah, Sydney might not even make my top 5. I love her. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's hard to rank these characters because I love them so much. Let's see. How do you rank the movies? Mine are 6, 5, 4, 2, 1, 3. That is an interesting ranking. That you have the first one so low. Um, I love that everyone's ranking is different. And, I never judge people for having a different opinion because we're all allowed to have different opinions. But it always surprises me when people don't have number one in first place. Like, for me, nothing tops the original. So my ranking is 1, 4, 2, 5, 6, 3. That's pretty much been my ranking for a while now. I feel like it could change down the road. Um, the last two being 6 and 3, I feel like those could swap places potentially. I feel like 3 might actually be a better movie than 6, but I enjoy watching 6 more than I enjoy watching 3, if that makes sense. So yeah, I feel like my ranking could always switch around. Exactly. It always goes back to the original, just like Randy says in Scream 3. He says this about trilogies, and you know, this new set of movies, 5, 6, and 7, could be considered its own trilogy, but also going back to the actual beginning could be a good way to bring everything full circle and tie all the movies together. So I am with you. I would like to see Mickey come back. There's a lot of Mickey believers out there. A lot of people who believe Mickey is alive. I'm not one of these people. I'm not opposed to it. I do like Mickey, so it would be cool to see him again. But I just don't think the story requires it. I don't think he's that important to the story. Um, there's been no clues that he's alive, in my opinion, so I don't know. Yeah, I would like to see Jill still be alive. I just did my most recent video on the channel is about the theory that Jill is alive, so check it out if you want to. Is Art Sienna's dad or brother? No, I don't think so. Um yeah, I think he was a serial killer years ago, and her dad somehow like knew about him, is connected to him somehow because he was drawing him in his sketchbook. I don't know. There were a lot of unanswered questions with everything with Sienna's dad and all of that. Um, so I think they were setting it up though for the next movie. So hopefully we get some more answers about Sienna's dad, his connection to everything, and David Howard Thornton teased that the next movie will dive into Art's origins. So I am looking forward to that. Hey, Alejandro. I did not get any snow today. It rained. It's not quite cold enough for snow yet. Although it has been getting colder and it feels really cold out. Like it feels cold enough to snow, but it's not. It has to be at least 32 degrees to snow. It's been like 37 degrees. But it honestly feels colder. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get some soon. I would love snow on Christmas. I honestly cannot remember a Christmas in my entire life where it actually snowed. It might have happened when I was a kid, but I don't remember it. Hey Michael, thanks for joining. I do think Stu was on the phone with Tara in the opening scene. I think there's a lot of clues that point towards this, which I won't really get into now, but I did a video on this. So please, anyone who's interested, check it out. I think it's called Was Stu Macher in Scream 5's opening scene? You can find it in my Stu Macher playlist. A ton of clues that Stu was the one on the phone with Tara in the opening. Yes, I agree with this as well. He attacked Gail and was on the phone with her in 6. Hey, Oliver. Do you think Billy Loomis is broken or pure evil? It's an interesting question. I don't know if I would say he's pure evil. I think, obviously with his motive, like being that his mom abandoned him, his dad cheated and broke up the family. Something, I don't know, it made something snap inside of him. So I guess I would consider him to be more broken than pure evil, but I mean, he's definitely a psychopath. Yes, this is another good point. Dewey talked about Stu in the present tense in Scream 5. This is one of the many Stu clues that I talk about on my channel and in my 50 Stu clues video. I keep plugging all of my old videos, but please, if there's anyone new here who hasn't seen them, I have a big video on my channel called 50 Stu Clues. So check it out. But yeah, this is one of them. he, just like you said, he talks about Stu in the present tense. I think that's a major clue. Why would he say that? And David Arquette has even acknowledged this. He talked about this at a fan convention where he personally believes Stu is alive because he knows that Dewey talked about Stu in the present tense. Hey, Prodigy, any updates on Scream 7? Other than just the other day, we got another cast update. Our second cast member, Celeste O'Connor. That is the latest update. I didn't do a video on it, but I posted about it on my community section, and we talked about it in the stream yesterday a little bit. If you want to like go back and watch that stream after this one, but yeah, her role is under wraps. We don't know who she's playing. Like, we don't know who her character actually is. Like, if she's the daughter's best friend or whatever. We don't know anything other than the fact that she joined the cast. And that is it. That's the latest update. I'm sure you know by now that also Sydney's daughter has been casted, Isabel May. But that is it. Filming starts soon in like a month. So expect a lot more updates coming. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And also make sure all of your notifications are turned on so you don't miss it. Because the second we get a new update, I will post about it here on the channel. And you're going to want to stay up to date. We're going to start getting a lot more Scream 7 news. I personally think in Scream 7, when Stu reveals himself, we're going to get a flashback on how he killed Dewey. I agree with you. At least I hope that they kind of do these flashbacks to fill in these gaps in 5 and 6 and kind of show us how he did it. Like, give us a flashback to Dewey's death with Ghostface standing over him, looking down, and he takes off the mask and we see that it was actually Stu. Same with like okay. I think my mic is working now. It cut out for a second. That was weird. And then hopefully we get the same thing with Scream 6 with like Gail's attack. Hopefully we get little flashbacks to those scenes and we see how he did it. Yeah, this is another theory I have on the channel. Dewey knowing that Stu was alive, but he was sworn to secrecy. You know, if you haven't heard this theory on my channel, me saying this right now might sound crazy, but I promise you, if you watch the theory video, it'll make a lot more sense. Like I've said, I think the police helped cover it up, and his parents paid the police to do this. Dewey was a part of the police. So, you know, he loved his job. He loved Woodsboro. Didn't want to do anything to jeopardize his job, or maybe they threatened to hurt Gail and if he spoke. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of different ways they could write that. But yeah, definitely check out that video. And I think it could be the reason why his relationship with Gail never worked. Because, I mean, if you guys remember, every single sequel, they're always fighting and they could never make things work. He just left her in the middle of the night in New York City. So I think keeping the secret for decades could have started to eat away at him. It's why he had to step down as sheriff. He couldn't keep his job anymore. He turned to alcohol because this secret was just like eating him alive. But I guess we'll see. Maybe Dewey filmed a video the way that Randy did, like a video diary that we saw from Randy in Scream 3. Maybe in Scream 7, that could be a good way to see Dewey again and also like tie into this whole Stu thing. Like maybe he recorded himself and said, you know, if you're watching this video, it means I'm dead, but here's the secret I've been keeping for decades. Like Stu's alive. He's probably coming after you right now. I think that could be really good. I think Celeste O'Connor's character will survive Scream 7. We'll see. I mean, I think Scream 6 really failed in killing off a lot of people. So I think the kill count needs to go up for this movie for Scream 7. And I think a lot of the main characters need to die in Scream 7. So if Celeste O'Connor is like the daughter's best friend, I think she's going to have to die. But we'll see. Jamie. Why does Tatum have the same shirt as the boy in Nightmare on Elm Street? That is because Wes Craven directed both movies. So it was kind of like a callback to Nightmare on Elm Street. 5 and 6 are at the bottom for me. Yeah, it's definitely in my bottom half of my ranking. I do like 5 more than 6. I feel like a lot of people prefer 6 over 5, but I prefer 5. 5 just feels like more of a Scream movie to me. Probably because it takes place in Woodsboro. Hey, Chocolate Ice, welcome to the stream. And thanks for moderating. Yes, exactly. Like I was just saying. I realize I am behind in the chat, you guys. I'm sorry. I try to kind of take my time with everyone so I try to get to everyone. You can always send in a super chat. Those take priority and guarantee a reply. But I will try to get to everyone before the stream is over. Thanks, Ghostface, if you're still here, because that was minutes ago. That was a while ago. My top 10 favorite characters is Neil Prescott. That's an interesting choice. Charlie Walker. Same for me. I love Charlie. Robbie Mercer. Another good one. Mickey, Mrs. Loomis, Gail, Dewey, Billy, Bailey, and Sydney. What Scream was your first movie and how old were you when you saw it? The first one was definitely my first one. I don't know how old I was. I was definitely young. Like, I remember watching the second one on TV, on cable, when I was pretty young. So I don't know. I must have been maybe like 6 when I first saw it, but obviously I was like way too young to even know what the hell was going on. I mean, the fourth one was the first one I saw in theaters. So, and when that came out in 2011, I was 15. So, sometime before that is when I saw Scream, where I was kind of like old enough to realize what was actually happening. I know this is not Scream related, but I just got on season 8 of Dexter. Wow, is that your first time watching it? I love Dexter. And the prequel show is starting soon, December 13th. So if you're a fan of Dexter, get ready for lots more Dexter content on the channel. Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't both Stu and Jill originally supposed to return in later movies? Because that alone makes me think they both could return in 7 or a future movie. Yes, you are correct. Stu was supposed to come back in 3, and the original plan for 4 was that she was going to survive and come back in 5 if they had continued a decade ago with the franchise, which is a huge bummer. Like, I think about both those things constantly, like what those movies would have turned out to be if that happened. Um, but you're right. The fact that they were supposed to come back just proves that it is possible. If they wanted to do it, they could. So we shall see. Yeah, Mickey did get shot plenty of times, so it's not looking too good for him, but he didn't get shot in the head. And when they don't get shot in the head, it's always possible. I always say that on here to you guys. The franchise literally emphasizes, like, as long as they weren't shot in the head, they can always come back. There's a new rumor Catherine Newton is going to be in Scream 7. I have not heard that, but I would like that. I like her. How would you feel if Art the Clown had a cameo in Scream? Well, I feel like it would just have to be someone dressed as him. Like, I don't think it could actually be him. Like, Terrifier has supernatural elements and Scream doesn't. So I don't see that being possible unless it was something like in Scream 6 on the subway on Halloween, where there's all these people dressed as these horror icons. Something like that could work. Or maybe someone is watching Terrifier on TV in Scream. That would be cool. Yeah, I would love for Scream to take place at Christmas time. There was a rumor. I hope it comes true. There's a rumor Cassian Bilton is going to be playing Isabel May's boyfriend. I did hear about this. This rumor kind of first came out like the day after Isabel May was confirmed. But I waited. I didn't do a video on it. I kind of waited because it did just seem like a rumor to me. No one was really confirming it. And then now we still haven't heard anything about this. And then I think I read something that he might have passed on the opportunity. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any truth to this, but like I said, I guess we're going to start finding out more info soon. So hopefully we get some kind of update on this. Hey, Doshi. Hey, Ray. Long time no talk. I don't think you were in the stream yesterday. But it was my first one back in like over a week, so I haven't been streaming that often. I kind of took a break after Thanksgiving, but we are back. Probably gonna also live stream tomorrow. I have not seen the Dukes of Hazzard TV show. Who was the first victim in Scream? Well, on screen, it's Stephen Orth, but I guess you could count Maureen Prescott as the first victim. because she was killed a year prior. She was the first victim of Billy and Stu. So I think both answers would be acceptable. But the first on screen victim is Steven. Will you do a Dexter stream? Maybe, yeah. Like I was saying, I definitely am going to do lots more Dexter content in general. Once the the prequel starts soon, I plan to do like episode recaps, theory videos if I can even come up with some theories. Yeah, maybe we'll do a Dexter stream just talking about Dexter. Maybe we'll do some watch parties, like watching the episodes. I don't know. I would plan to rewatch the original show in January because it's been several years since I watched the show. I'm a huge fan, and I used to be obsessed. I've honestly seen the show like 4 times, but that was so long ago. I first watched it when I was in high school, which was 10 plus years ago. So even though I've seen it 4 times, it's not fresh in my head, and there's so much stuff that I forget. And considering the sequel show is coming out next summer, I need to rewatch the show. I want to do theory videos on the channel, but I feel like I don't have enough knowledge to do like detailed videos. So I'm going to do a rewatch starting in January. Maybe we can do some watch parties. But I feel like if I do that, we're going to have to watch every single episode like in order. So maybe one episode per week. I don't know. Maybe 2 per week. We'll see. Yes, Charlie was stabbed in the heart, so it's not looking too good for him. But people in real life have survived that. So and the fact that it's a movie, it's possible. I know it's not likely. Um but I have a couple Charlie theories on the channel if anyone wants to check them out. What if Stu has the same problem as Sam, where he sees Billy? That would be incredible. I would like that. I've heard a lot of people say, what if Sydney sees Billy? Which I think could make a lot of sense. I mean, she has all this trauma from all these years of Ghostface attacks. Um, and I want to see Billy and Stu on screen again. Even though Billy's dead, um, I always say this to you guys, like when I first heard that Melissa Barrera was fired a year ago, one of my first thoughts was, oh no, we're not going to see Billy again. And what I wanted to happen was Sam and Stu come face to face. And while she's talking to Stu, she sees Billy like right next to him. And Billy says something about his old partner, Stu. I fully believe that that would have happened if she wasn't fired. So yeah, any way that we could see Billy again, I would love that. I don't remember her name, but there's a rumor the actress playing Snow White in the live action film will be casted in Scream 7. I hadn't heard that rumor. Her name's Rachel something. I can't think of her last name. And I know what you're talking about when you say I don't like her attitude. Yeah, I haven't heard that rumor. If anything, I feel like it would just the rumors just kind of fan casting. Like fans always tweet like who they would like to see in the movies. So I don't know. I hadn't heard that. I recently rewatched Scream 4, which made me realize what a great Ghostface killer Jill Roberts was. I had never thought much about her. Of all the killers, she was the most psychotic and cruel. Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely the most psychotic, for sure. The fact that she could beat herself up like that, that's psychotic. Um, but yeah, she's a great ghost face. She's definitely in my top 5 ghost faces. I think she's my third favorite ghost face. First is Stu, then Billy, then Jill. Her reveal is great. Performance is great. Her dialogue, great. um, do you think they could bring Dewey back to Scream 7 in A Nightmare of Gale, similar to how Sydney's mom was brought in 3? Yeah, I think that's possible. I always say like we need a Dewey flashback, a dream of Gale's, kind of like you just said, maybe some kind of nightmare. Yeah, I think there's definitely creative ways that we could see Dewey again. And I hope they do it. Scream 6 was our first movie without him. I thought we were going to get a flashback in that movie. And it's such a shame that we did not. So I hope in 7, with Sydney back, with it possibly being Gail's final movie, because I think she's going to die. Maybe she won't. I don't know. But um, it also could possibly be Sydney's last movie, too. We don't know if Nev Campbell's going to sign up for the next one. So I think we need a Dewey flashback to send them off, like I don't know. I just think it would be fun to for the fans to see him again. Thanks, Ray. What was your favorite dish from Thanksgiving dinner? Probably the stuffing. Um, but also every Thanksgiving my mom makes this appetizer. It's called a cheese ball. It's like made out of cream cheese, cheddar cheese. There's like Worcestershire sauce in there. I think that's how you say it. It's so good. I look forward to that every year. She only makes that once a year. Um, and then also the pecan pie. I love pecan pie. Um, let's see. Probably gonna go for a few more minutes here. I don't think Billy and Stu killed Maureen Prescott in the Ghostface costume, since they said Sydney saw someone leave wearing a coat, which she thought was Khan. That's a good point, and I didn't really thought about that before, but I think that's accurate. They probably didn't get the Ghostface costume until a year later for the Woodsboro killings. Um, yeah, I'd say that's accurate. Have you seen the video of Youth of America? I have not. I do think Stu was the one who killed Dewey. Um, I did a very detailed video about this, maybe like a month ago at this point. Check it out on the channel. It's not that far back if you just go back like a handful of videos. Um, it's called like Stu Macher killed Dewey Riley. Yes, there are a lot of clues that point towards this. Definitely check out that video. What moment in the franchise makes you laugh the most? Hmm. Let's see. I maybe like Stu in the video store scene when Randy. My mic keeps cutting out today. I don't know why. Hopefully you can hear me. The video store scene when Randy asks Stu, "Do you think I have a chance with Sid?" And Stu laughs in his face and then gets serious and is like, no, I don't." That makes me laugh every time. Maybe that one. Hey, Leah, thanks for joining. Isn't Nev signed on for 3 Scream movies? I may have misheard that. I don't know. I have not heard that. That would be crazy. I don't know. Well, I heard a rumor that 7 is supposed to set up a new trilogy. So maybe that's what you're thinking of. I don't know. I didn't hear this. If you somehow find some info on this, please send it to me somehow. My email is always listed in the description of all of my videos and live streams, or send me a link to something if you find it, or you can comment it on one of my recent posts and I'll see it. So please, if you see anything about that, let me know. Do you think that Billy and Stu were only going to kill Maureen and then plan the massacre? Yeah, I feel like their original plan was just Maureen. I feel like Roman kind of said something like that. Like, Roman kind of gave Billy the idea to kill Maureen. And he says, "I had no idea they were going to make a movie of their own." So between Maureen's death and the Woodsboro massacre, a whole year goes by. So I guess sometime in between, they probably said to each other like, maybe we should kill some more people. But yeah, I feel like Maureen was the initial plan, just Maureen, and then they're psychopaths, so they liked the way it felt, and they decided to kill a few more people. What do you think Celeste O'Connor's role will be in the Scream franchise? I don't know. I mean, definitely in the friend group of the daughter. Maybe her best friend. I don't know. We don't know anything about her role. The article on Deadline said that her role is under wraps. So I'm sure we'll get some more info soon. Like, once they start filming starts in like a month. So hopefully they release like the full cast list and the descriptions of the characters. They should bring back the opening scene Ghostface costume from '96. I don't know if you noticed how different it looks. Yeah, if you're referring to the mask, how it looks weird at one point. I don't like that one. I'm not a fan of that mask. I think it looks pretty goofy. It was used in another scene, Principal Himbree's scene. Not a fan. Let's see, just a couple more minutes here. Oh, I just realized my music stopped playing, I think. I don't know. My microphone's all messed up today. Let's see. We need a Scream movie in the UK in the future. That would be cool. Definitely. I mean, you know, the Woodsboro thing has been done a bunch, which I love. I always want to go back to Woodsboro, but it was cool to see New York in Scream 6. So, yeah, going to like London or something. That would be cool. Back when Melissa and Jenna were still going to be in the movie, people were kind of theorizing that 7 could take place in London, possibly um, because Christina Carpenter was away on business in London. Obviously, they're not in the movie anymore. We don't know where Scream's gonna take place. I did a video recently on this. Where will Scream 7 take place? I kind of offer a few options in the video. If you have not seen that, check it out and leave a comment. Let me know some locations you think Scream 7 should take place. Some people want Seattle because apparently that's where Sydney lives. It was in the original script for Scream 6, but it was never really confirmed in the movie, so maybe they live somewhere else. I don't know. All right, I think that's going to be it for today. We went a little over an hour. This was a lot of fun as always. Thank you for hanging out with me, talking Scream. You know, my favorite franchise, always fun. I think I am going to go live tomorrow, so hopefully you guys can make that one. Probably around the same time, like 3 p.m. Eastern time. That's usually when I tend to do these. Although actually tomorrow might be a little sooner. Tomorrow might be like 1 p.m. Eastern time or 2 p.m. So, like I always say, turn on all your notifications so that you don't miss out because sometimes I don't know when I'm going to go live. So, if you don't want to miss it, if you want to, you know, take part in the live chat, make sure your notifications are turned on because it'll let you know the second I go live. But thank you so much for all of your comments and questions tonight. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday evening. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.